Hi guys, it's Patty, Cook, Cut, and Create. It is Tuesday, July the 21st, 2026, and it's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon here on the East Coast in the Piedmont of North Carolina. And wow, what happened to me yesterday? Well, I got sidetracked with a few projects that were house projects. And this morning, I was going to go ahead and get this video done this morning, but the husband came to me. He says, let's go over to Lexington. I need to go do something over there, and I need you with me. So, you know, lending moral support and all that other good stuff. But hey, I'm back. What am I doing today? First off, in the description is going to be the links to the website, cookcutandcreate.com. Click into there. Shopper collection takes you to my Shopify site. Or just go straight to the Shopify site. Cook-cut-and-create.myshopify.com, and that'll take you to the merchandise that's available. Anybody who ordered anything between last Friday and yesterday, everything is shipped out. Anybody that places an order today through Thursday will be processed Thursday and shipped on Friday. So go check that out. There's going to be more merchandise going up later this weekend. I apologize for the wiggle waggle there. So what am I doing today? We are going to take a pumpkin and make a centerpiece. And what sign are we using? This is the sign that we're going to use. And it's just an 8-inch sign. Now, when I'm talking pumpkins, in your typical craft store, Michael's, Hobby Lobby, or even online, Home Goods sells them. They typically every year have different size pumpkins in different colors. They have these small ones that can be white, orange, or just a craft style, in different sizes. Now, I would use a small one, but no. I'm going to use something a little bit bigger, but I want to show you a few examples of pumpkins I have done in the past. Now, this pumpkin here is the smaller size. This one, I think underneath it is an orange. These are sunflower napkins that are decoupaged and attached to the pumpkin all the way around with just a cute little topper on both sides of sunflowers and the little squirrel. And it's been probably 7 or 8 years since I've done this, and it's been beat up on, and I need to go in and touch up some colors because the napkins have come off, and these are napkins that have just been decoupaged onto the pumpkin. Now I have this pumpkin that is also a smaller pumpkin. This is one I did 2 years ago, and all this is one of the orange pumpkins. This is a fat quarter of material that I put at the bottom and gathered it up and hot glued it and then put it at the top. And I just added all sorts of little fun things around it. There's gnomes on here. There's squirrels. There's acorns. Butterfly. You got the little gnomies that say happy fall. And then on the bottom, what I did is I literally just hot glued a bunch of the fake leaves to it. And with something like this, you could set it on a charger plate on your centerpiece. That's on a brown charger. Let's look at how easily these changed. How the look changes. That's on a brown charger. Then this one is on a green charger. Then we have one on a orange charger. But that's another version. And we will do another one of these later on this year because I want a bigger one. And then another version, of course, you know, both of those are fall style. This one is also a fall style. This is one of my favorite ones I did. I've done this one 4 or 5 years ago. This is about a mid-sized pumpkin, and this one was orange. These are strips of deco mesh that you could buy at Hobby Lobby or Michael's that are, for the most part, see-through. And I just cut them in strips, and I would start at the bottom, glued them here, brought them up, and I did that all the way around. Ribbons, and then on the bottom is another mesh that I just kind of layered on the bottom, because you don't see the bottom of this one, and it would just sit on a charger plate or just on your table. And at the top, got a squirrel on one side, and then an owl on the other, so you could see from both sides with a big bow on it. And all of these guys I bought at Hobby Lobby years ago. Now, another version of a pumpkin turned to a centerpiece that I did was last year. And this video is actually on my channel if you go hunt it up. I did this one last year or the year before. I'm pretty sure it was last year. Earlier in the year. A Halloween pumpkin. This fella here, little witch, and she's meant to sit, so her little witch is like, yes, reminiscent of the Wizard of Oz, to sit on the table. But this one is one of the orange pumpkins that I just took 2.5-inch ribbon Start at the bottom and run it all the way up. And then just added all the different little embellishments to it. A pretty cool owl there. But this one was fun. The little feet I got at Michael's. And I just took the little sticks off of them and I just hot glued the heck out of it on the bottom. Normally there's popsicle sticks that are attached to the bottom so that when it's sitting down they won't move. But it has been moved so much here in my studio that it has, well, come a miss of the sticks. So what are we doing today? Today is going to be in a different tangent. I am actually going to take one of the brown craft style pumpkins that they have. And I have confirmed that these pumpkins are hollow on the inside. Let me take this out. You can actually poke holes into the craft ones. So I'm going to move you guys. And then I'm going to show you what we're doing, because we're going to take this and a bunch of flowers and the little other things that I bought and stuff, and we're going to create a centerpiece for fall Thanksgiving. And I'm going to bring you guys along the ride. So hold on just a moment. I'll get you moved and we'll get started. All right, guys, let's get these started. So what I'm starting with is my 8-inch sign that I have created. And this will be available on the Shopify site as soon as this video loads. It is an 8-inch sign. Now, hopefully next week it'll be available in an 11 3/4 inch sign. But if not next week, then by the end of middle of August, definitely. It will later be available in a smaller 6-inch sign. And it will also be available as a full wrap on a 15-ounce coffee mug. And potentially a magnet for your refrigerator. But this is the sign we're going to start with. And like I said, this is our craft pumpkin here. I actually bought this one last year when it was 90% off at Hobby Lobby. I was able to snatch a few of them. And last year they were $12.99, so I paid, $1.30 for them. And it is a 9 3/4 inch by 7.5 inch pumpkin. And I'm not too worried about the sticker not coming off it, because this will all be covered. Now, my intention for this, I sort of have a design and style for it. You know how sometimes if you're a gardener and at the end of the year you're cleaning out your garden and you throw everything into a pile, and sometimes in that pile has random seeds that come out of decayed pumpkins or squash or tomatoes or whatever, and then the next season you'll have what they call volunteers. All of a sudden you'll have a new plant pop up with the seeds that came out of your composting garden. Well, this is sort of going to be like a pumpkin that has sprouted up in your compost garden in amongst all of the leaves from the fall and maybe random flowers here and there. And that's what we're going to work on. Now, the sign itself, the plan for the sign is that I'm going to be doing it not all the way down, but sort of up on the top here. I'll go ahead and turn on my hot glue gun. And we're actually going to attach it probably about there. And all I'm going to do is just run strips of hot glue along the front here and attach it, just like that. And I will do that in a minute. I have a couple of versions. Now, normally, you could just, if you wanted to, you could paint this one. I am not going to paint it because it's mostly going to be covered. So I have some options here. I want it to sit on a ring of, I don't know, leaves or flowers or something. So when I went to Hobby Lobby, all of their stuff right now for the Thanksgiving and fall is 40% off, so that's not too bad. So I have two options. I could sit it on a base like this, which when I say sit, I'm talking like this. So essentially I would be decorating from here up, wouldn't have to really worry about the bottom. And if you opt to put it on some type of a base, you can hot glue it or not, so you can change the base if you want to. Or if you have the random leaves, you could just attach it to the bottom like I did with this one. I think I'm going to put it on leaves. And the cool thing about it, rather than the random loose leaves they normally sell, they actually this year have these. These are both technically designed to go around candles. But I'm thinking that's kind of what I wanted to do. Since I want it to look like it's grown up out of your compost area towards the end of your gardening season. And that's kind of what I want to do. So I'm actually going to make this one a permanent attachment to this. That is the first thing I want to do. So let me go ahead and detach the tags. Now this one it's a 14.5 inch, and it's used with a 6-inch candle, because what it is designed is for your candle to sit on the inside here, inside the ring. Now the ring itself is plastic, but what I want to do, I'm actually going to lift the leaves up, going to bend them back, and all of this is attached in plastic. They're all made of plastic. Oh, there's another tag. Let me pop that off of there. There we go. And what I want to do is actually make it to where this is sitting inside the ring, and the leaves will come up around the base. Now, as far as the leaves go, I did buy some extra leaves, $3.99 or $5.49, and these are slightly a different color than these. These look more natural. These are more faux, but they'll be able to blend in. Now, I do have some of these leaves that I bought at Hobby Lobby last year. Now, you can always buy something like this, take them apart. Hobby Lobby also has the long garlands of all this that you could potentially use. Okay, I'm waiting for my hot glue. The hot glue is almost ready. But what I plan on doing is I'm going to go through, and I'm actually going to take a bead of hot glue around here at the bottom and just nest it down in amongst these leaves. And then I'll go through and I'll attach some of the leaves directly to the pumpkin with hot glue also. Squeeze them all down through here. But this will give you a good base to start with. Now, like I said, too, you don't have to put them on a base permanently. You could just use something like the flower, the one with the, let me pull it out, instead of trying to describe it. You could have something like this one, and where it's interchangeable, and you just change the bases if you want to, or you can just put them on charger plates and add loose stuff around it when you're displaying it. It's all in what you like. Okay, my hot glue is good. I want to look about where this is going to hit. So yeah, we should be able to hit it at the bottom through here with the hot glue. So we're just going to do a good ring through here. It's not quite there, but it's close. It's getting there. I may have to. Okay, we're going to give it a minute more. Come on. There we go. Sometimes it just doesn't quite get there when you just start it for the first time in a while. Patience, and that's something I don't have. We all know patience is not a virtue related to me. I'm about the chaos, the craziness, the insanity. Okay, come on. Get a little bit thicker up here. And it doesn't have to be massive. It's just enough to kind of act as a placeholder. So I just put a simple little ring, and we're going to nestle it down in here. Put some of these leaves away. Okay. One on the leaves. Nestle it down in there. Hold it down for a second. That didn't work, did it? Okay. Alright, here we go. Now I'm going to go in at the different points and add some extra glue in. And just hold it. And while I'm in this spot, I'm going to go ahead and grab these two leaves. Run some hot glue along the bottom. Stick it up there. This one also. Woohoo! And don't do like I just did and touch it. You guys have watched me enough. You know I'm notorious for burning my fingers with the hot glue. It's just what I do, right? If you're not carrying scars of hot glue burns, are you really a crafter? Okay, let's go ahead and grab this one and take it up. Hold it in place. Let's twist this one up. Hold it in place. And I'm not too worried about because you want it to look random, of course, but I'm not too worried about some of the gaps. We're going to be filling in the gaps with flowers and a few other things. Open this up, come down here to the bottom side. And like I said, you do not have to attach it permanently to something. You can change out your bases. Just set it on a charger plate if you would like. It is all personal preference. Remember, always, when you're crafting, do what pleases you. because you will have more fun if you're doing something that you like. That one is going to twist and turn, but that's okay. Come around here. Let's get on this side. Hot glue, hot glue, hot glue. Go ahead and grab this side too while I'm at it. Okay. And some of my glue, because of the ring that's at the bottom of these, is going down to my table. I didn't put my craft mat on my table this time around. This is just a, a kid's style, a school table. It's got a pretty durable surface and comes clean pretty easy. So I wasn't too worried about it. And if you saw the state of the rest of my building right now, you'd be, yeah, she doesn't care. She's creating inside of her chaos right now. She's cool. See, so we are attached. And of course, it left plenty of glue on behind. But if you wanted to do something like this and make it look pretty on the bottom, you can always cut a piece of felt to go underneath it. If you want to color this in any way, paint it if you want to, you absolutely can. But face it, how many people are going to run up to your tablescapes, pull up your centerpiece and look at the bottom? I'm not going to. I'm not that worried about something. Okay, so now what we're going to do, let me pull you out. Now I have all the extra leaves, and of course I will go in and fill spaces in. But I have random flowers that I will be cutting. I have some of these. Now I have these that I bought last year. Now I have a sprig of these. Now I do have a single giant sunflower. And then I have some of the fake looking wheat. And then I have I did not look them up. I'm not exactly sure what they are. They're not acorns. It's a type of plant that grows around cattails and stuff, but I can't remember the name of them. And then I have add-ons. I have my obligatory squirrels. I bought some more of those this year. I have some scarecrows. And then, like on the one, I bought some gnomes again. Whether I actually put them on here or not, I do not know. But what I'm going to do right now, before I go any further, is I'm going to add the sign to it. Because I don't want to build this out and then try to put the sign on it and there not be any space for the sign. Now, the sign itself does have the light lavender or lilac, however you would like to call it, background. And I do know, I was going to try to find a small purple flower of some sort to put on this. And I may later. I actually have something that would probably work. But at the moment, I can't lay my hands on them. I'd have to go inside the house because I do know where they're at. But I'm going to go ahead and find a good spot to put this at. So let's rotate this around and try to figure out where I want it to. And I don't want it necessarily fully exposed. I think I'm going to want it tucked a little bit. And I'm thinking, do I want to put it there? See, if I had one of the 6-inch ones, I would just put it up here somehow. But I actually want it in the front. I'm thinking I'm going to put it right there or right here. That would blend in too much. So I'm actually going to take, and I'm going to work it down into here, I do believe. Going to work it down into here. Yeah, that's how I'm going to work it. I'm going to work it down into there. So what I'm going to do, yeah, there's going to be a lot of open space on it in the back at first. But it's not going to stay that way. We're going to be filling it in. Okay. Now this is a metal sign. So if you're ever hot gluing a metal sign, remember, the heat will transfer through the metal. So it will be hot. So please be careful. It's there. It's not going to come off, but I am going to reinforce it along the back with some extra dribbles down in the hot glue. You will not see that hot glue, but we're going to reinforce it a little bit. So that's what we've got so far. Now, and I love the way that the leaves just kind of, and these are sturdy enough that you can actually pinch them a little bit and cause them to bend up if you wanted to. But that's what we're starting with there. Okay, now, I want Mr. Sunflower on here. Question is do I want Sunflower to be up? Do I want him tucked in? Do I want him off to the side? See, my instinct is telling me because the sign brings everything up, I'm almost wanting to just put him in the middle. You know what? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put him into the stem of I'm actually going to work him all the way down. And I know for a fact that they are hollow on the inside. So I can poke a hole in there, and I may just do it with my wire cutters. I know typically these are not the wire cutters you would want to use. You know what? Nope, I'm not using that. I normally have a piercer that I can do this kind of stuff with, but I'm not 100% sure. There's been so much going on, and when I had to shift to the cast in here the other day, I had to really shift some stuff around. So, okay, that hole is in there. Do I want to... We're just going to weasel it down in there. Now what I need to figure out is how much of this do I want sticking up? What do you guys think? Trying to think. I need to back you guys up a little bit more. There you go. So I'm thinking, because with it tucked over the top there a little bit, I kind of like that. But would I want it off to the side? No, you know what? No. I'm going to leave it right here. And we're going to put a little bit of reinforcement around this by just putting a little bit of glue around it. One thing about it, if you use the craft style ones and you pierce through this, you could change them year after year if you wanted to. If you don't use a lot of hot glue and you just pierce them through pierce the stems through this, you could change it if you wanted to. Yeah, I like that so far. Okay, let me go with, because something like this, work with your bigger flowers and add-ons and then fill in with the smaller stuff. I'm not going to add like the squirrels and the gnomes and the scarecrows. I won't add them till I'm mostly finished with it. Let's see. I would consider these guys pretty big. They're on 3 different stems. Let's take them apart. Now, as you can tell, there's no rhyme or reason with my stuff. I just go with what feels right. And it's put together with a some type of floral tape, which is a pain in a tushy to break. Come on. Oh, gosh. Okay, almost there. Almost there. Oh, they're actually... Okay, so if you buy these and want to split them up, look underneath the floral tape. They are actually wound together with a piece of wire there also. There is no getting this apart. Well, foobar. I mean, it's wire. Ouch. Okay, well, that's why you keep a flathead screwdriver around. Because my little pliers, I'm not sure where they're at. I have needle nose pliers here somewhere. But I think they went elsewhere. They went on a journey, and I have not found them. So I guess we're just going to chalk it up for a reason, and we're just going to go ahead and cut them right here above the wire. Okay. And yes, I'm just throwing the trash over here. I will clean it up later. So I have 3 of those. Normally, when I'm buying something like this, I would buy 2 or 3 of them. But I only wanted to buy 1 of each, just to see how far I could get. Now, there's 3. You know what? We're just going to blindly go in. And we're just going to do it and see what happens. Oh, I can hear you guys. I can hear you guys. You're going to cut yourself. Don't do that. You're going to cut yourself. It's going to slip and you're going to cut your fingertip off. You might be right. So, get smaller scissors and see if I can do it with the smaller ones. What I'm doing is just kind of poking the tip in and just working it through. That's all I'm doing. There we go. And I'm not worried about the stems themselves sticking up through the holes. I'm actually going to take that piece off. Because you can work them down all the way, or you can add stuff in around it. This one, I'm going to kind of work down into it. And I'm actually going to glue it so it stays up this way rather than leaning down, hopefully. And I will tell you, that's a glob of glue. That is a glob of glue. There we go. So we're just going to kind of let gravity and nature and how it wants to let itself happen. We're going to put this one a little bit further up and back here. Come on. And I'm putting the holes in there and I'm just stabbing them through. And I'm just going to secure them a little bit with hot glue. You don't have to. You can just stab them in and make do. Let's see. Do I want to hold off? What do you think? I think I might. I think I'm going to put it right there. And of course, you know, putting the sign on there first because you don't want to cover up any of the spaces where your sign is going to be at. So going ahead and adding the sign ahead of time, like I did there, makes it so you're not having to pull stuff off or try to fight around where you're going to put the sign. Okay. Lean that one a little bit that way. Okay. I can deal. Let's see. Now I have the pale tan looking sunflower girls. We're going to go ahead and take these off. I want one of them to be tall though. Make that one tall. And I'm going to take that one a little shorter. And I'm pretty sure that they still have these. They had them last year's when I bought these. And because you got to remember, if you're doing a table centerpiece, then typically they're going to be able to see it all the way around. So you want it to look pretty from the front, the sides, the back, and everywhere else. There are 5 of these, because there's one over here. So we have 5 of these stems. I think what I would like to do, I kind of like the idea of one of them poking up to the side over here, maybe. Yeah, I do. Let's take one of the short ones, and we're going to put it so that it kind of lands over here off the back of the cornucopia. Now, also, too, you could take and just hot glue them directly without putting holes in. It's a personal preference on what you would like to do. Yeah. That one I'm not even going to hot glue into place. That way it can be shifted a little bit if I want it to. Yeah, I like that. I want to do a tall one. Because you got to remember, like I said, work from both sides on this one. We're going to go ahead and take the other 4 that I have, and we're just going to randomly poke them in back here. I have no rhyme or reason. We're just putting them in. Let's see. Let's go a little lower on this one. If I can get the scissors in the right spot. Let's see. Do I want to? No, this one. Now, this one I am not going to let loose. I do want to put a little hot glue in there, just so it doesn't slip too much. And one of the reasons why I bought extra leaves is because once I think I'm finished, I'm actually going in and add leaves so that it looks like the leaves have fallen onto your compost pile and are kind of landing across everything. And that's why I did not color this. So it helps with the decayed look, if you would like to call it that. Some people are going, oh, why would you ever say it's decayed? Well, it's rejuvenating the earth. And decay is what it takes. Okay. Let's see how far we can push this one in there. Kind of get that one up close. Yeah, we don't even have to glue that one in. So I have one more of this one. I think I'm actually going to take it short. Probably right through here, maybe. I tell you what, with this one, I'm going to hold off. I'm going to put it over here with you guys. So we're going to hold off for a moment on that one. Okay. It's coming along. Let's go ahead and deconstruct. Do I want to go ahead and deconstruct this? Yeah, let's go ahead and deconstruct this and see what I can come up with this. Now this one is this is probably one that I'm going to have to strip the plastic off the wires. Let's get it cut apart first, and we will go from there, because there's leaves also in this that can be added into everything. And one thing I will say is, whenever you're doing this kind of stuff, have a good pair of wire cutters on hand. These are actually offset wire cutters you can buy at Harbor Freight. They have different styles. This one cuts more straight, and then I have some that cut to the left and some cut to the right. This just happens to be what is sitting here at the moment. It's handy. It's close by, because I'm too lazy to go find my actual wire cutters that I'm supposed to use in my shop. So, now these stems are pretty long with all the little extra doodads and stuff. What I'm actually going to do, for the most part, is we're going to get the leaves off and just make a pile with the leaves, because the leaves can go in and be added in later. Now, on some of these, as they come off, it's the little berries and then little leaves. Those, I will let it stay. But I will separate them. Let's see. Yeah, let me go ahead and just cut them off the little bits. Now, what it does is it gets rid of the wire, and it's just the loose stuff. This, I will just hot glue directly to the pumpkin. I won't poke a hole for those. So let's go in and let's just go ahead and deconstruct these real quick. And that'll give me a good idea as to what I'm really working with here. And I probably won't use them all at first on the first go-round. I'll probably come in and use a lot of them as filler. Leaf. And with your hot glue, always make sure, if you're prone to your hot glue burns, that you have something close by to cool off your fingers once you burn yourself. Because there's no, hot glue continues to burn for a few minutes until it completely cools off, and you can go third-degree burns possibly. I have done it. Melissa's done it. I know a lot of crafters who've given them third-degree burns from hot glue. And even mechanics will. My husband has given himself a few burns using a glue tool in work. So let me go through and deconstruct a little bit more. But I hope that everybody has been having a really good day and a decent week. The weather's starting to change for us here a little bit. We've got rain coming in, and apparently it's only going to be in the 70s tomorrow. I believe it when I feel it. You know, the weather's been so up and down lately, it's been hard to predict how the weather's going to turn for everybody right now. So we got lucky when the jet stream shifted the other day. It kept most of the smoke up in the Ohio Valley and through Pennsylvania and D.C., so that was nice. I felt bad for everybody that's dealing with it. But that's nature. That's just part of what you deal with. Okay. And again, I'm just, trimming it all up. Normally I would have had it done before I came on with you guys, but this way you could see what I actually start with. And, sometimes treat places like Hobby Lobby, Michael's, or any other craft store you may have locally. Treat it as a toy store sometimes. Just walk through and see what you see and see if anything sparks imagination. Like Figment at Epcot, one little spark of imagination. Da-na-na-na, da-na-da-da-da. Now, okay. Now, I'm going to start with a couple of these. And I'm trying to figure out if I should just leave them long. I'm actually going to cut them short. And these I can cut with the regular scissors. And just leave that piece. And I'm just going to kind of go in and I'm going to pop a few in as filler pieces here on the bottom. You don't have to worry about too much about what's exposed if you're going to be adding more stuff into it later. If you're not going to be adding anything else, you need to be able to tuck it into the point where you don't see the stem. As you can see there. I'm going to do a couple of those along the front here. Some of these I just pulled them straight off of the plastic they were on. And just run the hot glue around the bottom of it and then just plop it in there somewhere. Find something for it to actually attach to. Sometimes you'll have to press on it so it doesn't come detached right away. And go from there. Let's cut this one off a little bit. I kind of like putting them at the bottom here. I think I'm actually going to take these and go all the way around the base here. And I need more hot glue on that one. And I know it's a mess right there. You kind of can't see what I'm doing there. Just kind of pushing it in there, the hot glue that's there. And if you feel you need to go in and throw a little bit more in there, you can. And then I'm just going to use my fingers to kind of hold it in there. I'm actually going to lift that leaf up to it. We're going to actually lift the leaf. As you get more comfortable and you're willing to just play with what you're doing, you can find different ways to do things that work for you. It's not always necessarily easy. Okay, I'm going to add this one with the leaves in it, but I want to make sure they're well. Oh, they're actually separate, but I actually want to work that back down into there. There we go. And I'm going to put a big glob of hot glue around here. A big glob. And we are going to tuck that out of the way. We're going to tuck it down into here. And we're going to push until it decides to stay. It doesn't want to go any further. And sometimes that's what I will do, is just, you know, winging a prayer there. Just kind of push it in there and see where it lands. And I'm going to continue to do that all the way around the base with these. I really, really like these little flowers. Hot glue. Let's see where it's going at. It's going to be up against the pumpkin is my guess. So let's go ahead and let's go right here. Because see, I don't have a leaf right there that goes underneath that one, so we're going to tuck it there. Okay. Well, guys, I'm going to step away for a moment from you guys, and I'm going to finish putting these at the base, and then as soon as the base is done, I will come back. Be right back with you. Okay, we're back, and I've pretty much got it done on the bottom like I want it. So I still have a lot of filler that can go in there, and it will go in as I finish more up, because I have a lot of that still left. Now, what I want to do next is I want to go ahead and go in with these guys. I only have one sprig of these, but we're going to go ahead and cut these off and see what we can do here. And I actually may dig into what's left of my daughter's wedding flowers to go into here, because there's a few things I might be able to use in this, but we'll see how it goes with what I still have. So with these guys, I don't know if I want to do doubles or singles. Let's do singles. They do have wires in them, so I will be able to poke these in. So that gives us, whoops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them. Let's see. Where can I put these guys? Oh, I definitely want one to hang over that way. I do know that. We're going to... Now, I have no intention of ever deconstructing this, so me putting holes into this does not bother me a bit. When I can get them in there. Okay. Actually, I'm going to have to unwrap some of this first, because I don't want to make a bigger hole than what I made. Although I may have to if I can't get this in there. Yeah, I'm going to have to make it bigger. There we go. One thing about it is a lot of times when you're working with stemmed flowers that have wires in them, because of the wire, it makes it where they're very, very easy to move. I like that. I kind of like that. I think I want to put one over here, but I want it to be at the bottom, I think. Let me unwrap some of this. And I know you're going to have so many holes left. You don't have enough flowers. It will be filled, I promise. That's the one thing about this type of stuff. It's very forgiving. Where did I just set it at? There it is. Is that the one I just unwrapped? Yeah, that's it. Okay. I actually am going to shorten up the wire on this one. I don't need it so long. me just shorten the wire. Okay. All right. Get it worked down in there. Yeah, that, you know what? That works for me. That works for me. Just kind of pushing the entrails, so to speak, off. Okay, front. Let me go to the side and do a couple. Let me see. Let's do one kind of midway point at about there. Yeah, go for it. Right there. Okay. We're actually going, because it's on the back side, it's not fighting against the sign to stand out, so we're just going to leave it there. I will secure this one underneath the bottom with a little bit of glue so it doesn't lean too far down. Or so I say, right? So I say as it falls back out. Ooh. There, we'll just put it straight in all the way into it. Why not? Put a little bit of glue on top of it. Once it dries and stuff, you won't be able to see it. And once everything goes up around it, I'm not too worried. You know what? I think I want it to stick straight up, so we're going to throw some glue right here. Just enough tack to hold it up. We want at least one of them to stick. Stick. See, if you talk to it, it works better. So I say. So I say. Well, we will build it up. I'm going to make this thing stick. Putting more glue on it than I want to, but hey, what's glue for, right? So let's just kind of hold this in place. Try not to let the extra glue hit my finger and burn me. This is where the patience part comes in that I'm not good at. I'm not good at patience. And yes, I understand it looks random and messy, but you have to trust the creative process on stuff like this, because you can always rip it apart and do something different, especially if it's for yourself. Nobody says you have to leave it like it is. I'm going to put some of these up here at the stem. Let's see. I want to put 2 of them in the same spot up on the stem. If I had my piercer, it would work out so much better to pierce through this stuff. But instead, I'm making it complicated. Now, keep in mind, too, if you don't want to use a pumpkin for this, you could get, you know, one of the giant styrofoam balls and shave the bottom of it where it's flat, so that no matter what you put it on, it's not going to roll anywhere because it is a ball. But I am working and using with what I have. Now, I did, of course, go to Hobby Lobby and pick up these flower stems. I had a few of them already. There we go. That leaves me 4 left. Let's see. I think I'm going to wait on using those. Now, I want to go ahead. These guys here, I am going to leave as a bunch. Come on. If I can get the tag off of them. I understand why the floral tags, the sales tags are so thick, but come on, sometimes they're hard to get off. I want to put this where it's wrapped around the sign. And I'm trying to think, do I want to do one, or I think I just want to do the one, and I'm going to do it here, where it's sticking up through here. I'm going to cut it down here. It's going to take a significant hole for this to fit down into, because I'm not going to strip it down to the wire. I'm just going to leave it where it's at the plastic. And I want to do this at an angle. So I'm going to try and come at it so it hits down into here, right here. Ooh, jeepers. See, that's a pretty good sized hole there. What I'm going to do is go ahead and run some glue, hot glue, to the inside of the hole. Let it sit for just a second. I'm going to refill my hot glue here. Gives it a little chance to dry a little bit, cool down, and we're just going to work it down in there. Now, I want to turn it. Okay, how does that look against the sign? I want it to actually be up against the sign, not just kind of floating from beside the sign. I want it to actually be up against it. So I think, let's see. Okay, that I kind of like. I kind of like that. So I'm going to take some hot glue, try to create a spot where it's just holding it in place right there. And all of this is going to be filled in to the point where you won't see it. Okay. Ow. See, I put my thumb right in the hot glue. Well, if you don't burn yourself at least once during a hot glue project, have you really done the project, right? Okay, so we have that so far. All the glue strings everywhere. Now, glue strings, when you're done with the project, if you have a heat gun of some sort, use your heat gun, just run it, and it'll shrink it and make all the glue strands go away. Now, with that particular strand a little while ago, these had some of these little leaves in it. It's just the 3. And I think I want to go ahead and work them in so they're in behind the sign. So they land. I want them to land in there. Don't want them. Hey, I kind of like that. And what I'm going to do with that one, I'm just going to cut it and I'm going to glue it to the stem next to it. Yeah, I did pretty good with my thumb there a minute ago. What I'm going to do is bring it in there and attach it to this one so it overlays and gathers in like that. So it's just kind of a hint. Just a hint of it hanging out the front there. Sort of like playing peekaboo. Because like I said, you want it to look good from the back also. Because most people that do these centerpieces is not going to be right up against a wall. You know, it's going to be so you can see it from all angles. Yeah, I'm going to have a pretty good blister on that thumb later. That thumb there has taken some pretty good beating up. I may even say it's not so. Yeah, I'm going to a little bit of glue on the underside of the leaf, and we're going to do this. And then I'm going to attach it to the back of this little acorn looking thingy, just so it stays in place a little bit better. Okay. So you can kind of see how it's starting to come together there. It's working on it. It's working on it. But I'm going to work on this back a little bit. I'm knocking all of my loose leaves down over here. Let's see. I want to go ahead and we're going to take some of these leaves that came with the first batch of these, the bigger leaves, and we're going to do some groupings on the back side here. And I quite literally am just going to throw hot glue down and put it in there. But we're going to do these in groupings. So there's a couple of them together. Don't touch the glue, don't touch the glue, don't touch the glue! Normally I have a set of tweezers. Where are they at? Bingo. To help hold this stuff in place while the glue cools a little bit and holds them into place. Okay, you see what I'm doing there? Oh, let's see. I don't want to use up too many of them, but I need to use a good grouping of them. I'm going to put one up here. Oh. Okay. I'm going to put a second one in that one. Actually, I think I'm going to take one of these sprigs to put up there. What we're going to do... There should be enough... Oh, yeah, there's enough glue still hot right there to hold it in place. And see what it's starting to do? It's filling in them. Okay. I'm kind of trying to build up on the top a little bit of this with these leaves. Just go in randomly and leave a leaf or two behind. See what I did there? Yes, I'm the queen of corny jokes. Yes, silly, silly, silly. Silly, silly, silly. Let's put a couple right there. I'm going to grab you. And we're going to grab you. Tweezers. Okay, did you see how that kid tried to come along with me? I think it just said, I want to go there. You want to go where? You want to go here? Because I can make that happen. I can make it happen. Let's cut this part off. Because he told me he wants to go up there with those leaves. So, we're going to tuck up in under here. Just like that. See? I'm going to pop that out. I'm going to hold you in place for just a second longer. Go, go, go. Okay. Stay. All right. Okay, I have this from these earlier. I'm going to tuck one so that it randomly comes up through here. I'm going to tuck it up here. So it's, yeah, it sticks up right. Okay, we're just going to throw the glue on just like that. And tell it to stay. Sit, Ubu, sit. Good boy. Yes. For those of you who have never watched me before and are not, that is me. I talk to myself. I hold conversations with myself. I answer myself. And the reason for that is intelligent conversation. It's the only explanation I have is intelligent conversation is sometimes needed. Okay, I'm going to go ahead. We get some of these up in here too. I need to throw some in behind the sign back here. And we're just going to go in and drop some hot glue right here. And I'm going to put, just going to throw it in there. Just let it land and see where it goes. Let me grab another one to put up in there with it. And I know that some of you are saying, well, why would you put the sign on? You're having to work around the sign. Well, you don't want to be doing this and then adding the sign and not have space for your sign. Part of the reason I like to add the sign first is because you can build around the sign. Let me go ahead and put some right here. How many of those do I have left? And of course I can always go and get some more or dig in my stash to see what I have. Let's take, I kind of want this fella up here. I think I want to put him up here behind the sunflower. Because I actually have a plan for what's going to be up here, so I need to leave some space. I'm going to cut the big part of this off. And then we're just going to go for it and see what happens. And we're just going to lay it into the glue and just see what happens. Oops, stay. Well, okay, if you lean, you lean. He goes, I want to go sideways, so he went sideways. And I'm okay with that. So that's what we got going on there. And I know normally you would be above me watching this, but I wanted you guys to see eye level here. Of course, there are strands everywhere. Let's see. This fella seems to be doing it. Let me pull a rack around to the back, to the front here and see what we got going on. I need to bring some stuff in. I mean, it's all going to have to be filled in. I know that. But let's go ahead and throw a couple more of these on here. I think this one tucked in behind there. I need to bring that one up. Let me actually secure this with a slight bit of glue there. Right there. Come on, go. Right there. Right there. Hold the glue. Hold the glue. You need to come off of there. Clean you up. And if you have spots of hot glue on something like this, when you're done and you don't like it there, hit it with a heat gun and you'll be able to lift it away with no problems. Soften it up a little bit and pull it away. Stay. Stay. Okay, it's staying. Let's go ahead. I have two. I have three of these still. I'm actually going to bring it up back up here. I think I'm going to tuck. I don't know. I may tuck it down into the base somewhere. I'm going to wait. We're going to wait. Let's go ahead and throw some of these goldenrods in here. The goldenrod is designed, it's all put together with floral tape. Hopefully it's not like the other one and it's bound together by a wire. We hope. Ouch. Well, heck and foo. Let's just do this because I know I'm going to be cutting it short to begin with. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, 5. And they do have wire inside of them. It's going to be a matter of getting it apart. Getting the floral wire cut off of it. A utility knife sometimes helps with this kind of stuff also. It's also always good to have several different cutting implements. Make sure they're not dull. A dull knife, a dull pair of scissors, a dull utility knife will hurt you in a heartbeat. Ask me how I know. I almost took the end of my thumb off about 15 years ago when I was scrapbooking. I was using a utility knife to cut a rubber dinosaur in half so I could attach it to a scrapbook page. Just about took off the end of my thumb. It was painful. I immediately know that I want to put this right here with this bunch here. So I'm going to cut this even more. I'm going to want to tuck it in at about here. So I'm just going to go in with some hot glue and just kind of weasel it into there. Once I get the hot glue in place, guide it down into there, and we're going to hold it in place for a minute. And you see how that spot right there, it just kind of filled in? That's what we're going for in some of this stuff. Add some more hot glue for it to rest on so it does not move. And hot glue, anytime you're doing a project like this, have plenty of hot glue sticks on hand because you will go through more hot glue than you realize or anticipate. It's always a good idea if you do a lot of projects with hot glue to make sure you have a good supply on hand. That's what the back is looking like so far. It's filling in slowly. I want to take another grouping of this and we're going to tuck it. I'm going to have it so it's going up. I'm going to have that so it's going up. So I'm just going to put some hot glue down into there for it to squirm down into, wiggle down into, nestle into, however you would like to say it. Or wrap it in a leaf here. Anytime that you're going to be doing a project that you do know you're going to have main elements like large flowers, you know, flowers like this or something like this. If you work with those first and then add in your filler to fill in your gaps, it will work a little bit easier for you. Now, sometimes people just, you know, work both at the same time. And it's all in what works for you, because not everything that works for me would work for you. Not everything that would work for you would work for me. Everybody's thought process and how they manage crafting different things is different. Oh, let's see. Oh, he is falling. So I'm going to have to put more glue. He is going to have a big glob of glue here, and I need to actually hold him in place a little bit longer, I guess. All right. So how's your day going? I hope it's going good. Just sitting here, killing time, waiting for the glue to finally hold. Patience, I don't have it. Yep, see, it's just wanting to come away, and I'm not sure why. Squiggle it down in there a little bit more. And it keeps wanting to come away from the bottom, so what I'm actually going to wind up doing is one of the leaves that came off of the base that I attached it all to. I'm going to cut one of these away. And this is a little cheat. When you have a spot, that's why it's always nice to hold on to your little extras, because it keeps wanting to fall away. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put some hot glue on the back of this leaf, and we're just going to tuck it in like that so it will help to hold it in place. So we're just going to take and put a strip hot glue down through the middle of the leaf vein there. Okay. And we're just going to work it in behind the little white berries here. All right. So we don't necessarily want all of our leaves to go in the same direction, even though at the moment they kind of do. See, and just with that one leaf, I managed to cover up all that space that was there. Now something like this, I mean, you could take your time and one section at a time if you want to. I mean, the possibilities are endless with this type of stuff. Absolutely endless. I actually want to take one of these white leaves and tuck it in there, but I'm going to make this one fall. I'm going to have this one be falling. I'm going to tuck that one underneath there. And I put glue as you can see, I put glue on this one everywhere. The fact that that glue fell, I can just hold that one to there and it'll hold into that glue. So, because all of these little spaces I will fill in. Okay. I wish I had brought I have a cake turner. Little cake stand that you can turn, and that would have been perfect to be using. But I did not think about bringing it out here because right now it's in the kitchen from the last time I cooked in there. Okay. I think I'm just going to lay this one into here. There's a crevice on the pumpkin, and I think I'm going to just lay it into the crevice of the pumpkin. And hold, and I will fill that in here in a minute with some other stuff. I'm going to let it sit there for a moment while I'm holding on to it. I'm just kind of looking at what I have right here. Okay, so that worked out pretty good. So let me just lift this up for a moment and show you what we got going on so far. Ignore, of course, all of the glue strings. Okay, yeah, I need something here, but I'm not sure what yet. But I'm going to continue to work on filling in space here on the back. I'm going to continue to fill this in on the back, guys. I'm going to work it out and flesh it in a little bit more, and I will join you again here in just a few moments. All right, I'm popping back in for just a second. I'm going to continue filling this in. I'm actually going to go ahead and finish all of this at the back. I wanted to pop in and let you know, these extra leaves that I bought, I'm going to work on using them to fill in a lot of this space. As you see, what it's going to do with these bigger ones is it's going to fill a lot of the space in. Let me show you, let's see, another one here. If I were to tuck this one in beside this one, and it's going to help fill in a lot of the space. I'm going to spend the next few minutes, I'm not going to keep you guys for this part because it's going to take a little while. I'm going to work on finishing the rest of it, filling the rest of this in with the leaves and the little berries and stuff, and then I'll bring you back in to add all the little fun guys. I'll bring you guys back in for a second, and I will show you something here. Hopefully you'll be able to see it. I want to show you how using filler, like leaves and berries and stuff, can fill up a space. Now, I've got this big space here that's empty, and there is still little spaces in here also. But what I want to do is try to fill this in. I'm going to start with a big leaf, and I've cut the bottom of the stem off of it, and I'm literally just going to put a bunch of hot glue on the back of it, just on the bottom of it, and I want this one to be falling rather than going up. So I'm literally just going to pick a spot, and I'm going to work it up in there, and I'm just going to work it in there. I'm just going to kind of push and manipulate until it's kind of there. I'm going to put another little dab of glue right here to kind of help hold it in place. I need to grab another glue stick. And as you see, what it's done is it's already pretty much filled up that hole. But there's still a little bit tucked down here. So we can take another little leaf if we want to, or we could take some little berries. What I'm going to do is take one of the leaves that came off of that one set of stem, and I'm going to cut the piece off of it, and I'm going to work it down into here where it kind of lands in behind everything. So let's put some glue on it. Then we're just going to kind of tuck it into place back here behind everything. And you see how all of a sudden that big giant space has gone away. And where it's tucked up and kind of sticking out right there, I'm going to leave it just like it is. But that has pretty much taken that whole section and covered it up. Now right here, I have a couple of bare spots tucked in behind here. And what I'm going to do there is I'm going to take some of these berry clusters and I'm going to put them in there. And what we're going to do is literally just, well, no, it's not going to do that. Let's put one of the larger leaves in there. One of the larger white ones. And we're just going to tuck it in and set it in place. And see, all of it went away except for that one spot behind the red leaf, and there's a spot right here. That will get filled in. I've taken these and I'm cutting little clusters off of them. Just be liberal with the hot glue on the back of it. And we're just going to tuck it into place. That one I'll have to hold for a second. But I wanted to bring you guys in and show you when I talk about filler with something like this, that you can fill up the space. Be back with you in just a few minutes. Okay, guys, I'm back. Let me take you a gander here of what we got. How much I've done so far. And you'll be able to see, I'll do a full reveal too. But this, I've got majority of all the fill-ins done. And yes, I wrapped a leaf around the base of the sunflower. That is where we are at right now. But now, what I consider the real fun part starts. And I'm going to add in all the little doodads I've got. Now, I'm probably not going to use, I don't know, I'll have to see here in a second. But as far as the front goes, I don't want to do too much at the front. Now, our little squirrels all pretty much have flat bases. I don't have anybody that would wrap on there, but I want to take one of these guys, and they're all holding, I guess they're acorns or nuts, but I want to take one of them and put it up here. I want to actually attach it here where it's resting on the sunflower. I actually want to put him there. I'm trying to figure out if I want the one that's like that or if I want the one that is standing, and I'm thinking it's going to be one that's leaning down. Do I want to I think I'm going to go with this fella here. What I want to do is try to get him right there. And that's what we're going to do. So, wish me luck. Put a little bit of hot glue on the bottom of this fella. So we don't want to override this one too much. But we got to make sure that he's secure. So we're going to put him, tuck him onto the flower, to the petals of the flower. Okay, he is secure on the flower petal. That much I do know. I'm going to take a little bit of hot glue to put on the back of his tail. Actually, he's in place, but I don't think he would stay. So I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue on the back of his tail here and bring the sunflower to him so it would kind of hold him to the sunflower. And that was just kind of trying to pull some of the glue away so you can't see it. But like I said, I can go through when I'm done with the project with a heat gun and it'll help melt it a little bit. So there's the squirrel. He's cute. Hopefully you guys can see him there. He's cute. This is where I'm a little different than most people. I like to add little cute things you would not expect in something like this. And basically I bought the gnomes, the 2 scarecrows, and the squirrels. I have used all of these in other stuff before. I would like to tuck a gnome under here, but this base is not thick enough to hold the gnomes. These gnomes are pretty heavy. The gnomes are cute, and I'm not a gnome person, but they are cute. But I think what I'm going to do as far as the front of this, I think I'm going to call this done. I'm going to call the front of it done, not the back of it. Of course, there's glue strands everywhere. But let's go ahead and flip. I'm going to turn this around. This is where a lot of my fun comes in. I only want to use one of these scarecrows, and I'm trying to figure out which color scheme looks better. Wow. I honestly don't know. I think I'm going to go with the one that has the blue hat. So we're going to save this one for a different day. And I'm actually thinking about tucking him. Do we want him here? I kind of want him sitting. I think I'm going to sit him up here. I think I'm actually going to make it where he's sitting up here. We're going to have to lean him back a little bit. I'm going to have to... There's really no wire or anything in here, but I think I'm going to tuck him where he's sitting in here. Like this. I think that's what I'm going to do. I like to tuck little things like this in strange places. So just when you think you've seen it, you look a little bit more and you see something else and it's like, oh, that is so cute. Or, okay, that's a weird thing to have there. But hey, you do you, right? So we're going to glue him into place right there. Have a seat, my friend. Have a seat. I'm actually going to tuck that one behind him. Okay. So we have Mr. Scarecrow up here. And that's just his bottom and his legs that are glued into place. So if I move this around a bunch, it'll probably shift a little bit. Now, I actually want to take one of the squirrels, one of the ones that's standing up, and I'm going to put it here in front of Mr. Scarecrow. Touch him in place. Kind of tucking him in there. Now I am putting one of the gnomes up in here. We're holding him in place so he doesn't let go. Okay, we're going to put one of the gnomes is going to actually stand tucked in back here. I have the one with the pumpkin, one with the sunflower, and one that says Happy Fall. And I think I'm going to take Mr. Happy Fall, and we're going to tuck him up into here. Now I'm gonna move this. You won't be able to see it till I get him in there, because I got to get him tucked into just the right spot back here. Let me put a little bit of glue right here, and then a little bit of glue on his feet, and then get him tucked in there, because he's kind of tucked, so if you're not going to see him unless you're looking for him. Okay, so he is tucked in there. See him down in there? Whoops, he fell. So I know you saw that. Get him situated in there. We're going to leave everything standing up here. Tuck him into place. Oh yeah, he's holding a lot better. See, he's tucked in there. So when we get done, I'll bring you up so you guys can see better. I found this stem right here is a little empty. So I need to grab a couple of these real quick to put in there. So let me go ahead and drop a couple of those in there real quick to fill up the rest of that stem. And it's literally just a small dab of the hot glue on the bottom of it. Tuck it in. Hold it there for just a few seconds. Okay. Now to be about the only space that you can see the original pumpkin that was here is probably going to be up underneath that leaf, but if you're not looking very close, you're not going to see it. Okay, so that's there. Squirrels. Actually, yes, squirrels. Let's take a couple more squirrels. Now, the squirrels are light enough that I can put them down here. And I am going to put a few in down here on the bottom. I might put one at the front, but since we have one on the sign, we may not need him. And you could do just about anything. You could do just about anything. Gosh, he's cute. I want to tuck one. I wish we had one that's actually hanging down. Or looked like he was climbing a tree. I have some more little woodland creatures, but nothing that I would want to put into here. I want to tuck one into that. Is there enough? No, if I put it on top, it'll be all right. And that's something, when you're adding something like this to any type of craft, you got to think about the weight of something and to make sure it's got enough support for what you're putting it on. And right there, I'm just putting him onto that. This is one of those that's just kind of, the more you look, the more you see. I like that. It's almost like, Now, for those of you who haven't been around long enough, I'm a Disney person and I love hidden Mickeys. This is almost like looking for a hidden Mickey, but instead you're looking for the little hidden animals of the woods. Oh. See, I've got glue strands everywhere that's grabbing stuff. And I'm still, as you saw there, I'm filling in a few spaces here and there still. Let me grab... Yeah, let me just put a couple more of these in there. And that's why when you get florals and such, deconstruct them. You never know when it may come in handy that you can use. What most people would just go ahead and take in the trash, because fillers are a wonderful thing. And who's to say that when I'm finished with this and I get the video up, I don't come back to it in a few days and decide to add a few more whimsical things. And if I do, I'll upload a photo up onto the Facebook page. Facebook page is Cook, Cut, and Create. Of course, the YouTube channel, you're here with me, so you know where the YouTube channel is. And then you can also find me on Instagram at Cook, Cut, and Create. I don't always get out there and post. I posted yesterday about the train that I had to wait for at the track crossing. That just, when you've got things to do and it's little things like that that slow you up, it just aggravates you, doesn't it? I'm just filling in a couple of little spaces up here by Mr. Scarecrow. I know everything. I've got glue, hot glue on everything right now. I have strings everywhere. And like I said, if you've got a little heat gun or embossing heat gun, you can turn it on and just lightly hit it and it will shrivel the glue strings away for you, so you don't have to worry about it. I have stuff that I made years ago. I'm still finding glue strings on it, because just when you think you've gotten them all, there's more. Okay, I'm happy with that. Okay. All right, I could tuck little things everywhere in this, but I'm not going to. But I do, however, like the squirrels. So me tucking squirrels in everywhere. I mean, and this is the kind of thing, Melissa will tell you, I'm quirky that way. It's what floats my boat, rocks my world. Now I need something here, because I don't have a lot coming into that space. I really don't want to put another gnome up there. I think one gnome is enough. One scarecrow is enough, but squirrels are a different story. I think what I might do, so we've got 1, 2, I hear you, Bob. 1, 2, 3, 4, I've got 5 on here now. Let me lay some of the goldenrod flat up in there. Put a couple pieces of the goldenrod up in there. I'm actually going to cut the fat part of the stems off. I'm just going to take the 2, put some hot glue on them, and we're going to tuck them into this spot up here without getting the glue everywhere, says her that doesn't listen. Okay, and we're going to bring this down here, let you tap into that glue, hold you in place there. Okay, I need this glue to go away. Although I may make use of that glue. Let me pull some of it away. See, it was an awkward hole. I filled it in a little bit. Let me take some more of these little white berry type things. And we'll put some glue on the bottom of that one. We're going to tuck it into there. This is the part that I like about this stuff, is doing the little itty bitty details, because you just never know what you're going to come up with. Now, yeah, I could go into my massive stash I have and probably find all sorts of little critters that would work. But for now, this is what I'm going to do. Okay, I'm walking away from those. I'm not doing any more of those. Do I want to put another squirrel in here? I almost want to. I almost want to tuck another squirrel there. I kind of want to put another squirrel there. What do you guys think? I think I'm going to put him there. I think I'm going to put him there. Yep. All right. I think for the moment, I may be getting ready to call this done. I'm not 100% sure, but I might be. Oh, actually, you know what? See, this is where playing with the little details comes into place. I had wrapped the stem of the sunflower with a leaf, and I am actually going to take the goldenrod and also wrap it around it too a little bit. Let's see what we can make happen there. I'm going to take a very fine thread of hot glue. I don't want real thick, because this is what would burn me more than anything else, I think. I'm going to wrap it around there. Hold it in place, I hope. I hope. Okay, it's there. Okay, I need to put... Okay, I said I wasn't going to be doing any more of the little berries, but I think I'm going to. I'm going to put this at the base of it to cover that little bit of a stem. Don't get that with your fingers. Don't get it with your fingers. Okay. Alright guys, I think I'm going to call it. I'm going to clean up the space a little bit. I'll bring you guys back up to the front and show you. I'll be back with you in just a bit. Alright guys, I've actually got you at a different location on the table now. But we're going to call this done. I want to come up with one or two more things. I need to put something here, and it may wind up being a couple of these. But I'm letting for the front of it, the sign speaks for itself for the most part. I will probably go in and add a few more things here and there. But, you know, and Mr. Squirrel's hanging on good up there. But that is the front. We're going to rotate to the back. There's the Scarecrow. Hey, Mr. Scarecrow. And of course, he's got a squirrel at his feet there. And we got Mr. Gnome. It's tucked over on the other side of the stem. See him in there? We've also got a squirrel tucked in behind here. We got the one over here. We have one down here on this fella. We got the one down here also. Could I do more? Yeah. Could I add more wispy stuff to it? I absolutely could. There's a possibility that I may. But for now, I'm going to call this one done. Now, I will probably come in at some point and bring something in behind the Scarecrow and stuff to kind of cover up the open space here that's just open air. But there we go. I'm going to bring you guys in front of me and just give you a good look that way. Hold on just a minute. Let's go at it this way. So here's, hi kitties. So here we go. And it's just, looky there, looky there. I love that. I love that. I've thought about putting one down here on the front, but I think I'm just going to leave this as it is. And let's go ahead and get her rotated. And of course the sign is on it, and the sign is not going anywhere. So we have on the base Mr. Scarecrow, Mr. Squirrel. But I do want to get in some type of filler back here, plus it to cover up the aluminum of the sign. Hi, squirrels. Yeah, take a gander down the aisles at your craft store and just take a look at the little things like that. You just never know what you can find. There's Mr. Gnomey. Happy fall, Mr. Gnome. But guys, there you go. That be her. This one was fun. Of course, I have glue all over the place. I have random glue strings on stuff that will have to be cleaned up. But, for the most part, there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. I really do. Guys, so with that, we're going to call this one done. We're going to get this thing put together because, you know, I don't edit these videos. You get them raw and real. Bloopers and all. So, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. Today is Tuesday. Tomorrow is Wednesday. I'm going to get out here and I'm going to try to work in the studio. This is, yeah, it's a disaster central. It's an embarrassment, but it's my embarrassment. I created it. Hey, you know, they say a bored housewife will have an immaculate home. Well, I must not be bored because nothing's immaculate in my place. Anyways, guys, I'm going to let you go there. get this thing cobbled together, get it up on YouTube for you guys because it's a day late, but hey, or we'll just call it a day early. But anyways, take care of yourself, guys. And as always, remember, love yourself, believe in others, and inspire those around you. And I will see you next time. Bye.